Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I've been putting off talking about this one for a while now. Not because I didn't want to talk about it, but because I needed to get it right. And now it's time. But before we get into that, don't forget to check this exclusive discount for it. You can find the link in both the video description and the top comment below. Alright, enough talk. Let's get right into it.
Let's start with our first reviewer's experience.
This reviewer recently began exploring the world of ergonomic mice to find something more comfortable for their hand. Their experience with this particular ergonomic mouse has been a bit of a mixed bag, but ultimately positive. It doesn't have a steep vertical angle like some other models, instead sitting at a more relaxed tilt that this user found quite comfortable right away. For someone with what they describe as small to medium-sized hands, it felt a little large at first, but the unique shape was a surprisingly good fit, especially the deep groove where the thumb can rest securely. A very noticeable characteristic is its weight. It feels substantial and solid. A reviewer found this added heft actually contributed to better on-screen precision, making it easier to land the cursor on small targets compared to a much lighter device that required more deliberate control and intent. The click sound is moderate, not as loud as some basic, clacky mice that would be disruptive in a quiet office, but certainly not silent. In fact, after spending time with another, almost silent ergonomic model, this one felt noticeably louder and heavier in comparison. That lighter alternative, while initially awkward to use, eventually became a favorite, making it difficult to switch back to this one's more cumbersome feel. Despite these drawbacks, and even after considering a return due to its hefty feel, this client ultimately decided to keep it. The overall comfort of its unique curvatures and the steady precision it offered seemed to outweigh the negatives. The device also came with an optional palm rest attachment, which they found unnecessary for their use. At the end of the day, it's a great example of how the right peripheral is all about personal preference and finding that unexpected shape that just works for you.
Starting things off, our first reviewer gives us their perspective.
This reviewer mentions there's a bit of a learning curve with this ergonomic mouse, but it's nothing too steep. After about a day of adapting to its unique shape, our reviewer found it worked quite well and became very comfortable for daily use. A key feature contributing to this comfort is a removable pinky extension. This piece attaches magnetically and in this client's experience significantly improves the feel of the device. While it's a great addition, it has accidentally detached a couple of times during regular use, though it generally stays put. However, a notable quirk related to this pinky rest is that it makes the device nearly impossible to pick up with one hand. Attempting to lift this mouse with the extension attached often puts just enough pressure on the magnet to cause the piece to fall off, which is something to be aware of. Another minor irritation our reviewer pointed out is the sleep function. The mouse requires a physical click to wake up from sleep mode, which can be a bit of an annoyance in the middle of a workflow but isn't considered a major deal breaker. The one larger complaint that developed over time concerns the build quality. This client reported that the scroll wheel began to squeak after a period of steady use, which was a disappointment. To provide some context for others considering this mouse, the reviewer notes they have an average-sized male hand, comparable to a large glove size, which found the overall shape to be a good fit.
Excellent. Let's find out what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer is genuinely impressed with this ergonomic mouse. As a software developer who relies heavily on a mouse throughout the day, finding one that prevents hand and wrist cramps was a top priority, and this one has truly delivered. Our reviewer notes that they previously used a different model which was considered quite good, but this particular mouse surpasses it in terms of comfort and ergonomic design. The 33-degree angle and the inclusion of a pinky rest have made a noticeable difference, especially since their pinky finger used to drag with the older model. Furthermore, this client expresses relief at finally finding a mouse that isn't too small. Apparently it fits their hand perfectly, and they mention their hand size for reference. However, our reviewer does suggest one area for potential improvement, the scroll wheel. They feel it could be smoother with the addition of more small notches to create a more refined scrolling experience. On a positive note, they haven't encountered any issues with the pinky rest detaching, a problem that some other users have reported. This suggests that the manufacturer may have addressed this concern based on earlier feedback, which is always a good sign. Overall, despite the minor scroll wheel critique, this ergonomic mouse seems to be a winner for anyone seeking comfortable and supportive input device for extended use.
If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Got thoughts or questions? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.